Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We love getting into the nitty-gritty of these research articles.
Absolutely, and this one is a doozy.
It really is. We had a request to dig into those reported adverse events from the COVID-19 vaccines.
Lots of interest in that topic.
For sure. So we found this study from the Journal of Taibah University Medical Sciences.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
And it is dense, but like we always do, we're going to break it down, make it understandable, and maybe even a little bit fun.
The researchers did a good job organizing everything by body system.
Yeah, I thought that was super helpful too. So it's like we're going to take you on a tour of your own body and point out where those vaccines have been reported to cause some,
Unexpected detours.
exactly detours. So first stop the circulatory system, the heart, blood vessels, the whole works.
And there are a lot of potential issues they found. Myocarditis, pericarditis, blood clots, you name it.
Oh, and irregular heartbeats, even high blood pressure.
That's a pretty wide range.
Yeah, and they don't just talk about it generally. They highlight specific cases, which I always find fascinating.
Yeah, me too. Those really bring it to life.
So, there's this 24-year-old guy. He had mild symptoms after his first Moderna shot, but after the second dose.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he ended up in the ER with severe chest pain.
Wow.
Makes you think, right?
It really does. Even if you don't have a bad reaction to that first dose, the second one can be a whole different story.
For sure. And while those stronger reactions are rare,
Yeah, thankfully.
it does show that you really got to pay attention to how your body's feeling, especially after that second shot.
Absolutely. Advocate for yourself.
Okay, now buckle up, because this study gets into the why behind some of these reactions.
Ooh, I love that part.
Me too.
Mm.
Remember how we talked about ACE2, that enzyme that's super important for regulating blood pressure and preventing blood clots?
Right. It was like in the other deep dive we did on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that spike protein from the vaccines,
Oh,
yeah, it can mess with ACE2.
interesting.
So if ACE2 isn't working properly,
then you're at a higher risk for all those circulatory problems we were just talking about.
makes you wonder. Yeah.
Totally. Like, how susceptible am I based on, my own health and my genetics?
Exactly, something to think about. And speaking of blood, the researchers also found cases of thrombocytopenia after vaccination.
What now?
I know it's a mouthful. Basically, it means low platelet count.
Oh, okay.
And they even talk about this super rare but scary-sounding condition called VIP-high vaccine-induced prothrombotic immune thrombocytopenia.
I'm not even going to try to say that one.
Me neither. But the point is it's extremely rare.
That's good, at least.
Yeah, but it does show how important it is to, just keep an eye on your health after getting vaccinated.
Just in case.
Exactly. Better safe than...
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. And before we move on to the next body system,
Okay.
it's worth pointing out that different types of vaccines, like the mRNA ones, the vector ones, the inactivated ones,
Right.
they seem to have different rates of these circulatory events.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So something to consider when you're weighing your options.
Definitely. Okay, so from the highways of the circulatory system.
Love that analogy.
Now let's shift our focus to the blood itself.
The blood, the life force.
Exactly. And one of the big findings here is anemia.
Oh, yeah. There's this case of a 33-year-old woman felt totally fine after her booster.
Okay.
And then, boom, a few days later, she's in the hospital with severe anemia.
Wow. Those delayed reactions are no joke.
Seriously, it makes you wonder how many other delayed reactions might be out there.
Simmering under the surface.
Exactly, lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, actually. It makes you think about that swine flu vaccine back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Exactly. That was another one where side effects didn't always show up right away.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you know what else the researchers found? Some studies on blood cell changes after vaccination have actually had, totally mixed results.
Interesting.
It just shows you that science is always evolving. We're still learning so much about these vaccines.
Yeah, for sure. But one thing's for sure, everybody reacts differently.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Your genetics, your overall health, it all plays a role.
For sure. Okay, ready to move on from blood?
Yeah, let's do it. What's next?
Let's talk about skin, the body's shield.
Ooh, I love that analogy of the skin.
Don't worry, most skin reactions after vaccination are minor and temporary.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, no need to freak out about every little bump or rash.
But of course, there are always some more unusual cases.
Right.
Like this 71-year-old woman developed sores on her legs after getting vaccinated. But get this, they cleared up when she was treated with steroids.
Oh, wow. So it was treatable.
Exactly. And it turns out it was something called leukocytoclastic vasculitis.
What?
I know it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Basically, it's inflammation of the small blood vessels in the skin.
Oh, okay.
But the good news is it's often treatable.
That's good to know.
Okay, another interesting case. 42-year-old guy developed these chilblain-like lesions on his fingers and toes.
Chilblains. Wow.
Yeah. And unfortunately for him, they didn't go away, even with treatment.
That's tough. And you know those chilblain-like lesions, they seem to be more common after the mRNA vaccines.
Really?
Makes you think, huh?
It does. And speaking of unexpected things, the researchers even found a link between vaccination and shingles.
Shingles. Oh, no.
Yeah, that painful rash caused by the chickenpox virus.
It's like your immune system just gets all out of whack.
Right. And you know what else they found?
What's that?
Pityriasis rosea.
Okay, another one I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Me neither. Basically, it's a common harmless rash, but they found some cases popping up after vaccination.
Interesting.
Just shows you the wide range of reactions.
Absolutely. Okay, from skin contact, let's move on to something a little more serious.
Okay, ready?
The kidneys, the renal system.
Yeah.
That's another area where researchers are finding some concerning stuff after vaccination.
Yeah, they said it's a growing area of research.
Definitely still a lot to learn.
But the most common kidney issue they found was minimal change disease, or MCD. Yeah, so basically your kidneys are like filters, right, cleaning your blood.
Right.
But MCD messes with those filters, and it can cause some pretty serious symptoms, like protein in your urine and swelling.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Not at all. But the good news is that most cases respond well to treatment.
Okay, at least there's that.
Right, so it's not an automatic worst-case scenario.
Right.
But MCD isn't the only kidney issue they found.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they also mentioned things like immunoglobulin, a nephropathy, and tubulointerstitial nephritis.
Wow.
Yeah, and they even highlight a case of a 44-year-old guy who developed tubulointerstitial nephritis after vaccination. And he already had diabetes and hepatitis B. So
many things going on.
yeah, it just shows you how pre-existing conditions can really complicate things.
Absolutely. Okay, ready for the nervous system.
The nervous system, oh boy.
This is where things get really complex.
Okay, hit me with it.
Let's start with acute disseminated encephalomyelitis, or ADEM.
ADEM.
Yeah, I know. It's a mouthful.
It is.
Basically, it's like an electrical storm in your nervous system. It causes inflammation in the brain and spinal cord and can even damage the protective covering of your nerve fibers.
Whoa, that sounds serious.
It is. They actually share a case of a 48-year-old woman who developed headaches, paralysis, and even had a low score on the Glasgow Coma Scale after getting vaccinated.
The Glasgow Coma Scale.
Yeah. It's basically a way for doctors to assess how conscious someone is. A low score is bad news.
Wow. So ADEM is not something to mess with.
No, it's not. Thankfully, it's extremely rare and usually happens within 2 weeks of vaccination.
Okay.
But when it does happen, it can have a huge impact.
Okay, so from a scary-sounding condition to something maybe a little less dramatic, but still dangerous, hyponatremia.
Hyponatremia, that's just low sodium, right?
Exactly. Might not sound like a big deal, but it can be life-threatening if it's not treated.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize.
And then there's memory loss.
Memory loss, oh no.
Yeah, they mentioned a 65-year-old man who experienced sudden memory loss after getting the Covishield vaccine.
That's terrifying.
It is, luckily he recovered quickly,
Oh, good.
but still pretty unsettling.
Yeah, for sure. And last but not least for the nervous system, Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
Yeah, weakness or paralysis of the facial muscles.
I've heard of that.
And it's been reported with all sorts of different vaccine brands, so it doesn't seem to be specific to any one type.
Interesting. Okay, ready for the final stop on our tour?
Absolutely. What do we got?
The muscular
The
system.
muscular system, our brain on.
All right, let's talk about rhabdomyolysis.
Rhabdo, what now?
I know, another mouthful. Basically, it means your muscle fibers start breaking down, and they release a protein called myoglobin into your bloodstream.
Okay, and that's bad because...
Well, myoglobin can actually damage your kidneys.
Oh, wow. Full circle, back to the kidney.
Exactly. It's all connected.
The body is wild.
It really is. And they actually share a case of a 76-year-old woman who developed such severe muscle pain after her Pfizer vaccine that she couldn't walk.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it just shows you how debilitating these side effects can be, even if they're rare.
It's true. So what can you do if you're worried about this rhabdomyolysis thing?
Well, doctors can use MRI scans to see how bad it is.
Oh, okay.
So there are ways to monitor and manage it if it does happen.
That's good to know.
I mean, it's amazing, right, how it's all connected. You know, one system can set off a chain reaction in another.
Yeah, it really is like a delicate ecosystem, you know.
Totally. So, wow, we covered a lot today.
We did circulatory system, blood, skin, kidneys, nerves, muscles.
That's a lot.
And I think the big takeaway here is that there's a whole spectrum of reactions people can have to these vaccines.
Yeah, some mild, some serious.
But all worth knowing about.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think it's important to emphasize that This isn't about scaring people away from vaccines.
Right. Of course not.
They're incredibly important tools
Yeah.
in the fight against COVID.
Yeah. Powerful tools, but like any powerful tool, you got to know how to use it safely.
Exactly. And part of that is understanding the potential risks, even the rare ones.
For sure. It's all about being informed so we can advocate for ourselves.
Right. And, it makes you think, if we're seeing these individual reactions, what does that mean for public health? How we track vaccine safety long term.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it?
It really is.
It's an ongoing process, for sure.
Always more to learn.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Our deep dive into the world of COVID-19 vaccine adverse events.
You did it.
Hopefully you found it informative, maybe even a little empowering.
Knowledge is power.
It really is. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.